According to the latest reports, the Los Angeles Rams are taking and making calls and are trying to get a trade done where Cooper Kupp would be dealt and a second-round pick would be brought back. And according to the latest betting odds, the New York Football Giants are a top 2 trade destination for the former Super Bowl MVP. We're going to break it down on today's show, and I'm going to share my thoughts. But first, I just want to say thank you to every single person that has subscribed to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. We crossed over 59,000 subscribers today. That is a massive achievement, and I am blessed. Growing up a Giants fan, and I get to do it every single day, talk about them for work. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. I love y'all. And if you haven't hit the sub button to join the best Giants YouTube channel and community, do it right now. Let's go Big Blue. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to the latest trade rumors that surround the New York Football Giants. The 33rd team created this graphic as the betting odds came from Bovada of the top Cooper Kupp trade destinations, and the New York Giants are plus 600 for them to be the next team for Kupp. This graphic, though, was made prior to the Kansas City Chiefs making a trade for DeAndre Hopkins, so that tells me that they are now the second most likely team, or the team with the second best odds to land Cooper Kupp. Dianna Russini is the one that put gas on the fire of these Cooper Kupp trade rumors when she reported yesterday the Rams have called multiple teams about trading former Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp. The Rams have indicated a willingness to take on some of the 2024 salary and are seeking a second-round pick. The question now becomes, are the Giants a team that the Rams have called, and should the Giants be a team that calls the Rams? Let's break it down from the top. Well, he turns 32 years old in June and has missed 43% of his games since the 2021 season. He has 2 more years remaining on his contract with roughly $40 million in cash remaining. So the New York Giants would owe him still a good amount of money. His 2024 base salary is $15 million. So with about 10 games left, if the Giants did make a trade for him, they would owe him about $9 million, something around that note. And look, there is no doubt that Cooper Kupp is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You could make the argument that that 2021 season, when he put up 145 grabs for nearly 1,950 yards with 16 touchdowns and then went nuclear in the playoffs and won the Super Bowl MVP, might be the best receiving year of any receiver in the National Football League. But since then, not a lot of production and honestly, not a lot of snaps for Cooper Kupp. Just 9 games played in 2022. Having 75 receptions for 6 touchdowns in 9 games is actually crazy. But then just 12 games in 2023, and he's hurt yet again this year, expected to play Thursday night against the Vikings, if not dealt, and he's played just 2 games this year. The way I look at it is this. The teams that are going to try to trade for Cooper Kupp, or the teams that are already talking to the Los Angeles Rams, or the Rams are talking to them, those teams are in win-now mode. Teams that are trying to win the division, get to the playoffs, advance in the playoffs, get to the conference championship game, get to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. Those are the type of teams that I believe should be trying to trade for Cooper Kupp. And in the nicest way possible, no matter how much Giants white, blue, and red I bleed, I don't believe the Giants fall in any of those buckets. But a second-round pick isn't that much of a price to pay for potentially an all-pro level player. So before I share my thoughts on if I would pull the trigger, I want to hear from you. Would you make this trade? Would you send a second-round pick to LA to acquire the 32-year-old wide receiver, former Super Bowl MVP? Type A for accept, type D for decline. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So when you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down and let me know. As much as I would love to watch Cooper Kupp play football for the New York Giants every single Sunday, as much as I would love to have a pair of wide receivers in Malik Neighbors and Cooper Kupp, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense with where the Giants are at in their quest to become a competitive football team. So I would decline this deal. because the Giants are not a Cooper Kupp away. If Kupp was 28 years old, if he was 27 years old, and he wasn't riddled with injuries for each of the past 3 seasons, I would be more inclined. But I don't need a 32-year-old Cooper Kupp that can't stay healthy. Wide receiver, though, even though you added Malik Neighbors and he's gone pace to have one of the best rookie receiving years of all time, wide receiver is still a major need for this football team. They don't create explosive plays, and there's a reason for that, and we won't say why that is today, but I do still think that there could be some players and talent and explosiveness added to the skill positions on this team. Malik Neighbors, good as anybody in this league, in my opinion, is going to be here for a really long time. Darius Slayton is a free agent after this season. I would let Slayton, I would trade Slayton. I don't know what you're going to get for him, considering the Kansas City Chiefs had to give up just a 5th-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't want to pencil myself into a wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 duo of Malik Neighbors and Slayton, so I would trade him, and then I'd let him walk in free agency. I think Wan'Dale Robinson is a slot receiver that has a limited ceiling. He doesn't catch the ball all that well. He doesn't get open downfield. He's not an explosive player. I think he's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. And Jalen Hyatt has a broken rib. And Bryce Ford-Wheaton and Amir Smith-Marset, they aren't moving the needle either. So wide receiver is still a major need going forward for the New York Giants. And in the 2025 free agency class of pass catchers, there's some pretty good ones. Guys like T. Higgins, Stefon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandin Cooks, Diontae Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, and Marquise Brown. So maybe the Giants go out and take a big swing after a guy like T. Higgins. Or maybe they go after somebody like Amari Cooper. Or maybe they try to go find a need somewhere else. They can do that. The Giants have about $44.6 million in projected salary cap space heading into the 2025 NFL offseason. You also can cut Daniel Jones to save another $20 million, so you would have $64 million in cap space. Plenty enough room to go out and make a competitive bid for a guy like T. Higgins. Could you imagine T. Higgins and Malik Neighbors with maybe Cam Ward? I don't know. I'm getting excited. Mel Kiper has released his big board for the top wide receivers heading into the draft, and there's some good ones. There really is. I'm a big Luther Burden fan. I think he's a stud. I think he's electric. He's a game changer. He is an explosive player. We all know about Travis Hunter. We all know about McMillan and the wide receiver out of Ohio State. There are plenty of talented pass catchers heading into the 2025 NFL draft. And for a team that needs more weapons, the Giants are in a good spot because they got cap space. They're probably going to be picking at the top end of the draft, and you're going to be able to go out and add somebody like that. And you need to continue to do so. You need to continue to build up the foundation of this football team. So when and if you do pull the trigger on a quarterback in the draft, on a quarterback via a trade or free agency, they have an environment around them that can help them be successful. I like what the Giants have done on the offensive line. You just need Andrew Thomas to be healthy. I like Tyrone Tracy as a part of a backfield. I like Malik Neighbors. I think Theo Johnson could be a tight end 2 down the line. But you still need a tight end 1. In my opinion, you still need a game-changing wide receiver 2 and another guy that can play alongside Wan'Dale Robinson. So still work to be done, but I don't think a Cooper Kupp trade makes all that much sense right now for the New York Football Giants. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue.